I'm Josh with Skid Pro, and this is the legendary X4 industrial brush cutter. You often hear go big or go home. Well, this is go big. The X4 is not just industry leading, it has set the benchmark for what is possible for a standard flow cutter. It pioneered direct drive technology and rewrote the book on heavy duty drivetrains, specifically drive shaft diameter and flywheel weight. All this adds up to an unparalleled level of power and performance in durability in any cutting environment. To say that this unit is a beast is a true understatement. Let's dig into the details to see why this cutter leads the pack. This made in the USA cutter is loaded with technology and industry first advancements. It all starts with the foundation, its extreme duty build. Skid Pro's famous rigid deck construction starts with 1/4 inch decking at minimum. But as you can see, the X4 is gusseted and reinforced almost everywhere. Let's break that down quick. The dual rail stiffeners run from the reinforced QT plate all the way up to the front push bar. These 12-inch tall stiffeners add significant rigidity to the deck, which is key to counteract the force coming from the skid loader forward. Additionally, the outside steel gussets are angled and engineered specifically to give torsional stiffness. They also extend out right to the cut in the open front deck. The extreme duty deck has 3 C-channel lateral stiffeners running the entire width of the deck. The welded, thick-walled C-channel measures 3.5 by 3 inches and further reduces deck flexing. The last part of the rigid deck construction is the heavy-duty push bar and front deck lip. 2.5 inches of thick-walled tube steel makes up the push bar, and the 1/2-inch front bumper on the skids and deck face round out the mix. This matrix of gussets and stiffeners are all tied together with multiple crossing points engineered to distribute and equalize the force from the pushing of the skid steer along with the resistance encountered from trees. While you may not need this type of over-engineering, it sure gives peace of mind to know you have ultra durability. Look closely. There is no other cutter in its class that has even close to this amount of steel and reinforcements. It all adds up to tip the scales at over 1,800 pounds operating weight. Enough said. Another area that really sets the X4 apart is the heavy-duty drivetrain. Not long after Skid Pro started, we sat down at the drawing board to rethink what was possible with skid steer brush cutters. We knew what we wanted, devastating cutting performance. That was the easy part. But to get it, we need an extra large, heavy flywheel for max inertia, a big enough drive shaft to support that flywheel, and a high torque motor to deliver the power, along with multiple cutting blades. The old gearbox, small stump jumper, and 2 lighter blades wasn't going to cut it. So we opted for a high-end direct drive motor with both the power and longevity to make that grade. This super powerful unit delivers high torque and ultra-fast blade tip speeds. But what's arguably more important than having the direct drive motor is having the right drive shaft connecting the motor to the flywheel. There was no shortchanging this step. Even though some high-flow cutters on the market were 3 inches or less, we opted to go bigger and hit the 3 3/4 inch diameter. It is the heaviest drive shaft in the industry on any standard flow cutter. The drive shaft is housed in a massive 12-inch diameter cast iron bearing housing. That's an incredible footprint on the deck that gives the entire drivetrain solid footing. The unit houses two 6-inch bearings for rugged durability and silky smooth operation. Heck, our customers tell us all the time they can't even tell their cutter is running at full engine RPM. At the bottom of the drive shaft is a 13-inch round by 1-inch thick flange. This is the connection point from the shaft down to the flywheel, so it needs to be durable and able to take shock and impact. Next, we drop down to the massive flywheel. We utilize a single piece of high tensile steel that is 1 inch thick. The flywheel tips the scales at north of 400 pounds. It couldn't be too heavy or the recovery time to get back up to speed would be too great, but it needed to be heavy enough to maintain inertia to gain a big jump in cutting capacity, while durable enough to withstand the rigors of commercial use. We found that sweet spot. All in all, when you weigh the entire drivetrain on this cutter, it comes in over 550 pounds. Pretty incredible. And while I definitely don't recommend this at home, during the R&D phase, we did test the standard full cutter out, cutting down a 20+ inch tree, and it handled it no problem. That's the benefit of a heavy drivetrain. The next step was the blades. We knew we needed to get more blades to create the devastating cut that we were after. We tested both 3 and 4 blade designs, and no question, the 4 blade had a marked jump in both all-around performance and cutting capacity. Another benefit of the direct drive design is you can run the mower in either forward or reverse, both directions, by simply reversing the hydraulics in your machine. So to take advantage of this, we used a double-sided blade, which not only gives operator convenience, it gives longer blade life as well. One of the final tweaks that we made on the cutter that can't be overstated is the extra tall 10-inch deck height. It leads the industry. Doesn't sound like a big deal, but it gives a huge performance increase. Why? Reduces the bunching and material buildup under the deck, a known problem for traditional cutters. This is especially obvious when cutting tall, thick, succulent grass, which no doubt is the hardest thing a skid steer cutter can actually go through due to the volume of material and the constant resistance. Not only does the X4 excel in that environment, it dominates over even high flow cutters when it comes to travel speed while cutting grass. Next up is cutter style, either more open front like this design or a hybrid closed front. This unit is what we refer to as our open front. It's our most popular design by a mile and our most aggressive cutting platform with an impressive 8-inch cutting capacity. It also enhances feeding of heavy brush and material into the cutter. When this cutter first hit the scene, no other standard flow cutter even had a 6-inch cutting capacity. We touched earlier on how critical it was to have a heavy push bar, especially when you're cutting into the deck on these open fronts. You have to have adequate gusseting and stiffeners to strengthen the deck and reduce flex. As for the specifics of our open front design, well, we engineered it so the bar was set just in front of the blade in the center. This allows you to push the tree with the push bar to add tension on the tree right before it's cut. This helps give the operator more control of where the tree falls, in this case forward versus back towards the operator, and it helps give a cleaner cut when the tree is under tension. For direct blade access and the most aggressive cutting, you can simply place the tree in either V cutout on each side of the deck. The other style is our hybrid design. It's a cross between a traditional closed front square deck and an open front. It delivers a lot of versatility while giving added peace of mind that the blades are always tucked under the deck yet close enough to be where you need them when cutting bigger saplings or trees. Our extra heavy-duty, low-profile steel push bar bumper gives added durability while maintaining best-in-class visibility from the cab. Even though this unit is the same robust drivetrain as our open front X4, we give it a smaller 6-inch diameter cutting capacity since the blades aren't exposed. This design is a great option for some customers. There's no wrong choice. It really comes down to personal preference. Now, the high-flow X4 is a different beast entirely. Let's pop the hood and see what's underneath. We utilize a super high capacity, big bore, high flow motor. This unit can handle up to 60 gallons a minute and 4,500 PSI line pressure. That's more than any skid loader on the market currently puts out. In conjunction with that, we have a custom-made pressure relief block that is engineered exclusively to our high-flow X4 cutter and built to withstand the flow and pressure of the big bore motor. You'll also notice the X4 high flow does have a taller motor cover. This was simply to get enough space to clear the taller high flow motor and block. Other than that, the deck and the lower part of the drivetrain are the same across the X4 family. We can put the high flow motor on either the open or the hybrid front, but overwhelmingly, guys choose the open front. Why choose high flow? Well, to us it's easy. If you've invested in a high flow skid loader, you should utilize it on the X4. We give it the same cutting capacity rating, but what you're really gaining is a big uptick in overall performance and definitely travel speeds. Simply put, you'll get more work finished in less time. And to most guys, that's a big win. While that covers the most important stuff, there are always a few harder to recognize attributes that maybe aren't top of mind, but sure do come in handy. Here's a few of those. The easy access blade panel on the top of the deck allows for quick and easy blade changeout by simply removing 2 bolts to get direct access to the blade and nut. Another one that can really save your backside is the wire protection kit. It's a series of intersecting posts between the top of the flywheel and the bottom of the deck. It's designed to prevent barbed wire encountered in the field from taking out a lower bearing seal by catching the wire. What we call our bulldog collar on the bottom of the drive shaft further protects the unit from debris damage. In this end, both these features are serious uptime protection. All X4 models have hydraulic pressure relief for motor protection. If the pressure spikes during operation, the pressure relief valve opens up and oil bypasses the motor to reduce the likelihood of any damage to the cutter. This technology replaces the old shear pin design of the gearbox stays. The X4's swing-away blades also help in this regard, allowing a bounce-back effect if a hard object is accidentally hit in the field. Each X4 has 2.5-inch wide skid shoes on each side of the deck. This gives added rigidity to the cutter, but more importantly, it also gives enhanced flotation when running this directly on the ground. Last but not least, the motor cover design. In a day and age when everything seems to be an option and protective covers are not standard on many brush cutters in the industry, Skid Pro bucks that trend by delivering arguably the toughest hood cover in the industry. We're not aware of anyone bigger or heavier, including on high flow cutters. Why does this matter? Well, the drive consists of the most critical and expensive components on the cutter. We think it's important to protect them. The motor cover has 1 locking bolt and 2 pivot bolts for easy access, and our open back design allows easy checking of the sight glass to make sure there's oil in the bearing housing and for a quick visual check of components. It's a small feature that delivers big-time operator ease. And speaking of all that, all X4s can accept a bolt receiver kit to retain a full set of replacement blades right on the cutter where they're out of the way, yet perfectly ready for you when you need to replace them. The cherry on top is the X4 warranty. Skid Pro was the originator of the industry best 2-year warranty. Talk about putting your money where your mouth is. And even more impressive is the type of beating and extreme operating environment one can contend with in the field. We've got hundreds of guys that use this thing for commercial land clearing, and some that run over 80% of the revenue of their skid steer business through the X4. Heavy duty, long lasting, durable, productive, and powerful, the X4 is a grass gulping, tree busting, brush devouring behemoth that can tackle the toughest jobs with ease. Get more done today and get it done faster with an X4 cutter. If you have any questions about this or any other Skid Pro attachment, call the Product Gurus today at 877-378-4642 or visit us online, www.skidpro.com.